Here we are on a Monday night. Life has been very busy lately, which is why I have not been streaming quite as regularly as previous weeks. But have a short time here to do a little catching up and see where everything stands and look ahead to tomorrow. First off, going to run through my memory of the day real quick. This is my memory for August 10th, 2020. This is day 35 of 366. And yesterday, thinking about my birthday party and sharing that story, I remembered a night that didn't happen at my birthday party, but wound up becoming commemorated during one of my birthday parties. And the night itself it was a very hot summer night. My friend Frank and I were hanging out down on one of the church steps that we used to always hang out on. Where we grew up. There was a very small area. It was less than a mile circumference around the entire area, and within that 1 mile circumference, there were 13 different churches and something like 17 different bars and clubs. So that was the area that we grew up in. Every church had its own. There was the Slovak band hall, the Croatian band hall, the Polski Dome. There was all the different ethnicities had their own little bar or club, and everybody had their own church. The Hungarian church, the Protestants, all that. The Russian church, Russian Orthodox, all that. So we would hang out on various church steps. This was, I'd say mid '80s, mid to late '80s, and on this one particular one church was on Broad Street. It was on Route 56. It was the main route that ran through the town, and the church was right alongside that on a sidewalk. And we would hang out there a good bit, just talk about whatever, watch cars go by, and so on. We were hanging out there one night, and Gary, who I've mentioned multiple times in the first 35 days, suddenly comes just flying by in his car, and he like pulls over and leans out the passenger side window. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys up to right now?" And we're like, "Just nothing. Hang on." He goes, "You have to come with me and see something. Hurry up, meet me down Aces." And so me and Frank get up and we run down. We get down to Aces, and we're like, "What's up?" And Gary's like, "Come on, you gotta come with me. Let's get into the van." And there was an old I've always had wheelchair vans, with lifts on them, to get in and out of my vehicle. And at least one of them, when it stopped being really functional for the wheelchair lift, it had wound up with Gary, and Gary used it for years as a catering van. But the lift, the wheelchair lift on the side of it, still more or less worked. It wasn't a lock to work every time, um, but that never stopped us anyway. So we wind up, lowering down the lift, getting up into the van, and we go driving out to a place called The Road. The Road is uh, it was an old abandoned road that there was the area that we grew up, which was in Cambria City of Johnstown. Then there was a bridge that led across the Conemaugh River and went to Minersville. And Minersville was another small town that was put up on the side of a hill. And if you went all the way back to Minersville, all the way to the back end of Minersville, Honan Avenue, which is where Woob, which I've also mentioned previously, Woob lived in the last house on the right. So he lived there, and then right after Woob's house, the road had stopped being maintained after the 1977 flood. So there was a road that still ran all the way out to Hingston Run Dam, about 3.5 miles away. But the road had just become completely, uh, uh, you know, I don't want to say destroyed. I mean, you could still walk it. You could still drive on it. Although there was one time where there was a guy in this sports car who had come up, and me and I can't remember who else, me, somebody else, and Whoop were talking in front of his house, and he comes up in this sports car. It's got like, you know, an inch, 2 inch clearance, and he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get out to Hinks Run Dam. Is this the road that leads there?" And we kind of looked at him, and Whoop looked down at his car, and was just, uh, yeah, but not in that car. And so it was that kind of road. I mean, it was all just, it wasn't just paved with potholes or anything like that. I mean, it was torn up. It was completely, there were parts we had to pick. Where do I go here to get by this section? And so we wound up driving down the road in the van. It was a full size van, and this is late at night. I mean, well, I don't know how late, but definitely well after dark. 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. And we go out, maybe halfway out, maybe mile and a quarter, somewhere a mile and a half, somewhere in that uh, distance range. And there was no moon. It was overcast. There were no stars. And we stop, park, turn off the headlights, and then immediately fireflies everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I've seen fireflies before, where there are hundreds or thousands of them. This was unbelievable. They were flying, they were crawling on the road, they were crawling on the trees, and they were on the hillside. They were landing on the van after we had parked. They were everywhere, and so within moments, you lost track of where you were. It almost felt like you were floating. It was very disorienting because you couldn't focus on anything. It would fade in, fade out. You weren't sure what was solid, what wasn't. Some of them would be floating by altogether, and you'd think, "Is that the ground moving?" It was just so. It was unbelievable. We sat there for I don't know how long, and eventually we were like, okay, we need to leave. No other cars came by the entire time because it wasn't like people drove out that way. But we just sat there and talked, and we're like, "Oh, you can't believe it." This was way before the days of cell phones or anything like that. Um, so there's no pictures or anything to commemorate it, but I'll never forget that night. And then either later that year or the next year is we turned into the uh, we at my birthday party. I was telling this story. Me and Gary and Frank were all relaying this story as to what had happened. I think it must have been a year later, and we were talking about, yeah, last year was unbelievable. It was like this, and we turned into the if ever I saw 1,000 Fireflies song, which was a song that we went around in a one by one, each of the people at the main table of the party, with no pre-planning as to what was the next verse going to be, and just started to sing the song, and created this song, and went. It was hilarious, and maybe someday we will sing it uh, for a recording and get it down. But that's my memory of the day. My night of 1,000 fireflies, which was way more than 1,000 fireflies. And there you go. So, other than that, gambling has continued happening. Um, Golf. This was the first weekend where we did not win any of our golf bets. Hatton missed the cut, and Woodland after a good opening round, never really recovered. Never really recovered. And, so he wound up not getting anything at all for us on our bets. Um, as far as the other the other uh where the hell is it? There we go. As far as the uh fantasy team goes for golf, we did okay. Again, we had Hatton who blew it for us. We had Woodland who did well in the opening round and then collapsed. We had Morikawa who wound up winning the event, got us good points there. Stuck with Berger after he did great for us 2 weekends ago, and he did fine. And then wound up with Fernal and Rose, both of who golfed fairly well. For now, especially, really. So we wound up getting into the money there for $66 on a $33 tournament. So we got something there. Let's see what else we had going on over the weekend. We did not get anything good with our UFC again. We almost won a good 4-fight parlay, but lost one of those fights. We had the other 3 legs all good, so that was a little disappointing. Let's see what else. No other major hits in baseball or basketball or hockey. Pretty much even results there. Today we've had one tournament already finish, and that was we got into a quick a quick showdown match for the NBA, which was right here. It was just a small $5. I saw that the main guy for the Bucks was out, and I want to see if we could take advantage of it. So we got into a quick $5 showdown. We did okay. Again, we got $5. We wound up winning 10. It was a top 55 place. I think we were 48th. The key here was Ilyasova. He was. I don't know if they just decided not to play him or what for most of the game. They put him in the fourth quarter, and he got pretty much all his points there, which skyrocketed us up the standings and got us into the money. So we got that. There are a few other contests going right now. Let's see. We've still got 2 NBA tournaments going. We have a night tournament and a full day tournament. Let's see, second game of the late slate just started. Denver and Los Angeles. Here's the lineup that I was going with on this one. Let's see right here. Not in the money as of right now. There's still a lot of time to go, of course. Hero, Tyler here. Hero, definitely hurting us here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to recover from that. I'm not sure. Maybe he got injured or they pulled him out or what happened. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Bam. You know, okay. Brogdon, okay. Now we have the late game going. I kind of loaded up a little bit on the Lakers backups today. Um, we'll see what happens. The Lakers are locked into the number one spot, so I just don't know if they're gonna maybe rest of their guys. I know what's his name, KCP. There, it's out for tonight. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, are they gonna give James and Davis there a bit of a break, and maybe we'll see Caruso and Kuzma and Waiters getting a little more play time than usual. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Um, Kuzma looks like he's doing some work early, but we'll see. And then other than that, let's see. I have couple of baseball heads up going. Uh, still over 55 innings left for both of us. Down by a fair amount. Let's see. I've got, let's see. Well, he's got most of his players going now, except for his second pitcher. I think we both have May going as our second pitcher. So those will most likely cancel out. He loaded up on Arizona at Colorado, which is working out for him well. I have a few Dodgers starting, going a little later. We'll see. I haven't been able to get my stride going in baseball since it returned. So that's been disappointing. I've been most successful since it returned to major sports. I think hockey has my highest regular winning percentage right now. Basketball would be next, and then baseball is definitely last at this point. But we'll see what happens there. Looking ahead to tomorrow is a full day of gambling. Basketball starts at 7 p.m. Let's take a quick look at some of the. Take a quick look at some of the matchups and prices. This is the first time I've looked at this so far, so let's just take a quick look here. Lots of players listed as being out. We'll see if these get updated tomorrow. I don't know if Antetokounmpo is going to be out tomorrow as well, but they sent him down for today. If he's not out tomorrow, then you gotta love him against Washington. Harden is definitely out. We know that. Let's see, Doncic. Now those are still from Monday's game, so a lot of those outages could just be based on they're playing in a back-to-back setup. A lot of the teams will rest their stars when they're playing back-to-back. That's good there. At least Giannis is in the late night game, so we'll have a good idea as to whether he's going to play or not. Sacramento and New Orleans. Let's see, is Holiday officially out? Yep, Holiday is out. So Holiday's out. Ingram's out. Zion's out. They've been eliminated from postseason. The game's also meaningless for the Kings. Hey, Rev, what's up? How's life treating you? My life has been freaking busy as hell. I'm just looking ahead to some of the NBA games tomorrow, seeing what I might be interested in putting money down on. I mean, with the games getting closer to the end of the regular season here in the bubble, there's definitely a need to keep track of what games matter to people at this point. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, busy in general. I agree. Busy is good. I prefer busy to bored. Um, yeah, the last couple of weeks has been crazy busy for me, where I just have not been able to get time to do my own stream the way I normally would want to, because I just got to take care of stuff. Hopefully, your downs are not too significant. I think there's been a definite vibe going through the universe, by the way, of just a slogging or a trudging feel. I've had to fight against some bad vibrations, just a bad feel of why am I so frustrated or angry when I don't really have any specific thing to point to. Yep, grinding is exactly what I'm talking about, man. I've always viewed it as I've always made the analogy of sometimes it feels like trudging through a swamp, where you don't know where the other end of the swamp is, and but you can't stop. You stop, you get sucked in and become one of the faces Frodo looks at. To the feel out there, that's what you're talking about. You're a haplessness to it. Yeah, but I think you're describing exactly the same thing me and K Rock have been feeling. Has been a very uh, trudging experience. You know, I'm working on getting out of it. I figure if I can get a nice gambling hit somewhere, uh, that always. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. That something has felt odd. I've mentioned a few days ago. I even mentioned to K Rock. I was like, man, I don't remember I was getting ready for bed, or I don't remember. I was like, something just does not feel right to me. Something feels off, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's weird things happening in the neighborhood too. You know, a few odd occurrences with neighbors, with a neighbor. Um, but yeah, so hopefully things are okay on your side there. If it's nothing, as long as it's nothing major, it's just a question of they're either yeah, there's a changing, and I think there's also a revealing. I mean, I think that you create a certain environment or a certain situation, a certain uh, a certain element in the world, whether it's who are your leaders or a pandemic or whatever it is. One, it can change people, and two, it can reveal people. You can spend your whole life living next door to someone. Yeah, dude. I'm I've never fit in with society. Never. I've never. I'm okay. I can chameleon it. I can totally be the chameleon, and and show up when needed, and have people be like, yeah, great. But I've never fit in with society. I don't enjoy most of society, most of the people in the world. It does, and I will agree with that. I do the chameleon thing way less than a lot of people. Like I fortunately most of my close circle know I'm not into the whole going out and social mixing thing and all that. So I'm not. I'll do it for things like TK, and if he's got something happening that's a big event, and I'm able to get there, then I'll try to do that. But I'm not big on, hey, let's go down to whatever. I don't like having to project something that I'm not, just to get through the evening. Yeah, well, that's kind of like, that's why I try to keep my circle as small as I do. Yep, that is right. That is a people do not. Yes, I have a lot of experience with that. People do not like not understanding what's being talked about or what's being said, and either they don't understand it, so they're not interested in it at all, or they don't understand it and they get angry. Oh hell yeah, yeah. People if you start talking about something that in general people don't understand, it's very rare that you find someone who goes, "Oh, tell me about that. Let me learn about it." You almost always wind up with someone that either gets angry at their not understanding and views you as some sort of enemy attempting to show them up or make them look stupid when you're not, or they just, oh, whatever, man, and move on. But there's definitely an element of people are more and more people are trying to do the sort of thing that we're saying here, close your circle. Yep. And but instead of, there's a difference between closing your circle, like what I tried to do. Yep, I'm with you 100%. There's a big difference between trying to keep your circle small and selective, and closing yourself off. Um, and more people, I think, might just be confusing that, and they're closing their circle, but they are in essence cutting off anything else that they don't understand or that they don't like, that they don't agree with. Everyone does. I think everyone does it, man. I think everyone does it to some degree or another. Yeah, yeah. There's no way for people. And sometimes there's a good time to do it. Sometimes it's the right thing to do it. If you're surrounded by too many negative or toxic ideas or thoughts, sometimes the right move is bury your head in the sand. Get away from it. Meditate. Shut yourself down. Sometimes that's right to do. You just gotta be careful you don't get trapped in that. You wind up doing it all the time. It's all. I firmly believe if there's one thing if there's one thing I believe in, it's that there's a flow to the universe, um, and that it's all about trying to feel that flow. Oh yeah, there's a flow to the universe, man. There is a current. There is and it doesn't force you to go in a specific direction. But if you learn how to ride that stream, you can go where you need to go a lot easier. And sometimes it gets rough waters. Sometimes it gets trickier, and you got to just go with that feeling. I really do believe that there's a time that everyone's got that voice inside of them that yells out and goes, "No, don't do this." Yeah, well, that's a thing right there. I mean, that is that's a tough situation. But the only thing you can do there is try to go with that flow. Try to go with your feel. Try to go with what 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 is the universe trying to tell you to do? Where are you trying to go? Where is it trying to take you? 'Cause I don't think that the universe itself ever leads anybody to a bad place. It's just people get fucked up and wind up going to bad places against the will of the universe. Hmm. I don't know that it's trying to test your limits, but it's definitely a testing thing. It happens. I mean, people say life isn't easy for a reason. There's a reason for that. But it gets easier if you're able to find that flow, if you're able to go with that. Like I said, I really believe that everyone's got, well, maybe not full on sociopaths, but everyone's got that thing inside the chest gut area when they're not sure what to do and something tells them, "Don't do this." And so many people are like, "I'm doing it anyway." Or that voice is screaming, "Do it, man. Go. You got to go." And you're like, "Oh, no, I can't." That's. And I think people get confused by that voice sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta put that fucking car in park, man. Sometimes you just gotta pull over to the side of the road and put it in park and go, all right, boys, let's straighten this shit out before we get up to speed again. Well, yeah. I think, again, I don't know if anybody, I'm not sure how many people anticipated lockdown being as extensive or as long lasting or returning the way it has. Yeah, I understood what you meant. Mm, yeah, like you said, the I have not gone into soccer at all again. You know, I have not. I have completely stayed away from soccer since the main American sports have come back with baseball and basketball and hockey. But yeah, no worries about the hijacking thing. It was, all I was doing was looking ahead a little bit. This is a big soccer month here. Let me see. What do they have offered in soccer? Let me see. Let's see. Soccer. It looks like there's two games tomorrow, Tuesday. Let's see if this is right. Let me show you this. Let me look at this. So this is what the gambling for a daily fantasy looks like in soccer. You got these two games. Is this the right league? Is this the league you're looking at? Shakhtar Donetsk. Okay, so and this is right, and then like this is the Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yeah, I'm not looking to bet on them, but these are the two games that are happening tomorrow, right? So if we were looking at these two games, if we were going to goalkeepers, now goalkeepers don't score a lot of points in fantasy points. See, here's the way they score. Here's the way things get scored in fantasy. You get 10 points for a goal scored, 6 for an assist. Every shot is 1 point. Every shot on goal is another point. Every cross is a point 7 points. If you have an assisted shot, it's one. An accurate pass is a small .02, but those matter. If you draw a foul, you get a point. If you concede a foul, you lose half a point. If you get a successful tackle, +1. Intercept a pass, +5. If you're given a yellow card, you lose a point and a half. If you get a red card, you lose 3 points. If you go through the whole game with a clean sheet, you get a bonus 3 points. You get a shootout goal, it's +1.5. And if you miss a shootout goal, it's -1. And goalkeepers get +2 for every save, -2 for every goal they give up. A clean sheet is +5. A win is +5. Right? So if we were looking at the players here, and you've got $50,000 to fill these positions. You need 2 forwards, 2 midfielders, 2 defenders, a goalkeeper, and then a utility, which can be any position except goaltender. So they're saying here, like right now, this Moritz guy from Shakhtar is the most expensive guy. I don't know who he is. Raul Jimenez. Okay, Raul Jimenez right here. So he's coming in at 8,200. So we could take him as a forward. Oh, wait, I don't want to put him there. I don't want to put him in utility. Let's put him in forward. Hey, K-Rock, there's an ugly bug on my computer screen. I don't know what it is. Do you see it?
Yeah, it's very small.
It's not very small. It's huge. Oh, it flew. Okay, it's not a spider.
No, it's not.
Okay, good. All right, so if I go with Rahul, Rev says, hey, hand of K-Rock. All right, so if I took Jimenez for 8,200, what other guy would we take as a forward here? This guy here, Adama Traore. ADM is the fly. Nice. Now we can't. I think there's some rules about we can't pick all. Okay, we'll take him. Now I know that we can't take everybody from. You can't load up just on one team. You have to spread it out between a number of teams. So let's say that we take those two. We're done with our forwards for now, except if we want to take a utility. Who do we take as our midfielders? If you're taking a look here, if you take a look at these guys, now we're down to an average of 5,750 per player. All right, but goalkeepers. Let me show you goalkeepers. Goalkeepers are cheap, relatively speaking. Even the most expensive one is only 5,400. So we don't have to worry too much yet. But if we're looking at midfielders here, where would we be looking? Are we but Kono? Kono. Who is Kono? Kono. Back up at the top. Okay, this is the top here. Who is this? A compass guy? Oh, Kono. I got him. I got him right here. I got him. I got him. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it. All right. So if we throw him in there, now we're down to 5,500. Let's take a look at goalkeeper. Who would you say as the goalkeeper should be taken? This is the part that's always confused me about soccer. How the hell do I know who's going to be starting here? And who should I take? Yeah, who would we be looking at taking from a goalkeeper perspective? Obviously, they don't score a ton on a normal basis. But what goalkeeper would we be looking to take here? Yeah, I mean, basically they're just listing all of the goalkeepers that appear on this team's roster, and then they're showing you what do they average. So I'm guessing this Piatev guy is the main guy for SHK, and then it looks like these two guys both have started. Down here, you got a couple different guys for Wolverhampton. So you'd be looking down here, probably at either Patricio or Ruddy. Let's see. Patricio had a save but gave up 2 goals. Oh no, that was in Sunday. That wasn't. Let's see. 10-game log. Let's see. So he played on the 6th. Patricio played on the 6th. And what's the deal with Ruddy? Oh, Ruddy. Okay. Ruddy has not played. So Patricio. So let's grab Patricio then because he's only 4,500. That bumps us back up to 5,700. 5,775. We still need another midfielder. Defensemen also are not very expensive. So we can save money on defensemen as well. We could either fill out our last midfielder position or look at the defenseman here. Navas right here. Jesus Navas. Navas and Dodo. These two. Jesus Navas. All right, let's do that. Let's take Navas and let's take Dodo. All right. Now we still need another midfielder and then a utility, which we can go whichever position we want to. But we know we need one more midfielder. We're at 65.50 left. So either we're looking to save money, somebody below 6,500 to try to get a better player in the utility position, or grabbing one of the more expensive guys. I can't. Oh, Laura. Oh, Jota right here. Diogo Jota. All right, if we go that way, if we take him, that throws us down to utility with $7,000 left. So now you can see all these guys are redded out because we can't afford them. So we can afford anybody from 7,000 down to fill in the utility spot, or we need to make an adjustment here if there's somebody in the red that you feel, oh man, we definitely want to get the guy in the red, but then we'd have to make an adjustment to get more money from him. Fernando, down here, 6,400. All right, that gives us a lineup right there, man, and that's decent with only 600 left. I want to enter that lineup, and we will track it and see what happens tomorrow. Any winnings we get, I'll split with you, or I'll hold on to it and we can gamble it again for more money. This is going to be a fairly small tournament. It's 24 people. Let me see it here. I see. It is a $12 tournament. It is, yeah, 24 people will be in it. In the top four. So first, second, third, and fourth all win money. Dude, whatever lineup you just gave me, there's no way it is worse than any of the soccer lineups I've put in. No way. Like, it's guaranteed to perform better than the soccer lineups I had, just trying based on numbers. With no actual knowledge of who are these people. So we will see. That game goes off tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. First place wins $100. If we win it, we'll see what happens, and we'll go either go into a bigger tournament or another tournament. We'll figure out what we're going to do with that. We'll see what happens. And then sometimes there's things like if we were successful and if you drafted more regularly, and I don't know if this carries over to soccer, but for sports like say ice hockey, or baseball, American baseball, sports like that, you can stack a bit. You can focus on a stack. Like in baseball, maybe you want maybe the leadoff hitter for a certain team isn't the best leadoff hitter, but you really like their number 3, 4, and 5 hitters in this game. So maybe you grab the leadoff hitter who's less expensive because the thought being, hey, maybe he gets on base, and if he does, the third, fourth, or fifth guy might drive him in. Then I get double points. I get the run batted in, and I get the run scored. Just like in hockey, you might get an assist and a goal. I think that it might also carry over in the sense of soccer, where maybe you take a guy who plays, at the same forward position or a midfielder or something, that, this guy has a chance of getting an assist for this guy, who I think this guy is going to have a big game in this particular game. So you can always look for right, exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. We'll see what happens. This is my first official, uh, streamed lineup assist in soccer. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Other than that, I'm going to be doing basketball. I probably have to do some basketball this evening because the first game starts at 1 p.m. Baseball tomorrow doesn't start till 7, so that's good. Hockey starts at 3 tomorrow, but I can take care of that tomorrow because I got to be up early. So I can take care of my hockey bet tomorrow, but I might have to do... Yeah, that was... I just won money on that game. I just had right here... I just had a small $5 fantasy draft. Let me pull it up. Right there, I just had a small $5 Fantasy Draft Showdown competition. And the Showdown, it's only one game. You draft all your players from one game. One of them is the captain. The captain costs 1.5 times what he would normally cost, but he also scores 1.5 times what he would normally score. And then you have to fill, and then it's all just, it's any position. So it doesn't matter if they're forwards or centers or guards or whatever. You can draft any position you want. So this was a $237 entry. No. $237 person entry. $5 top 55 got paid. I finished 48th. So won $10. You know, could have done better if I had started Powell as my captain. But I don't know if anybody anticipated Powell. Only 5.9% of the folks started him as captain. But that would have been the way to go. And then I had Ilyasova here, who was quiet for the whole game, but then came on there at the end and definitely busted me up the ranks. Because only less than 14% of the people had him. In a showdown, you're trying to. This number here shows you what's the percentage of the other teams in the league that have that player. So someone like Siakam, 95.8% of the people had him, 28.7% started him as captain. So everybody who had him as not a captain, definitely they weren't going much of anywhere because so many other people had him. Same thing with Middleton, even more so with the captain. This was definitely a better start. The fact that I started Siakam at captain over Middleton was good because 44.7% started Middleton as their captain, but he had a pretty bad game, worse than Siakam did. So he got even fewer points. Like he would have had 36 and 36.75 if they had started. Whoever started him as a captain would have had 36.75. Bledsoe did pretty good. You can see what their prices were here too. Lopez was a little bit of a disappointment, but again, 83% had him. So it really all came down to Ilyasova there at the end. But yeah, that was the game that I just won a little bit of money in. And that's really what I gamble for, It's like, sure, I'll take a shot at the. I mean, most of my gambling is this kind of gambling, is the daily fantasy drafts or the season long drafts. I have a number of leagues that I'm in for season long football, American football. But I do a lot of that kind of drafting right there, where it's just, hey, this roster for this day, who am I picking? What do I want? What do I think is going to happen? And mainly I jumped into that one just because I saw, what's his name? That Giannis was going to be out for the Bucks. So I thought, all right, hey, that's an opportunity to maybe capitalize there and grab an Ilyasova or somebody like that. Ooh, Giannis. Giannis is a beast. I mean, he's ridiculous when he's playing. I don't know that there's anybody that matches up with him. But they play again tomorrow. Yeah. I know they play again tomorrow. I know Giannis. I know the Bucks play again tomorrow. I just got to do a little bit of research and see how important is this game for the Bucks. That's what I need to. I need to research that. And just take a look and see. Because if my spot was locked, I would not be risking. I would not be risking Giannis until the playoffs start. I know there's a lot of people out tomorrow. I know James Harden is out tomorrow. I know basically all of the Pelicans are out. Zion's out, Ingram's out. I think all of them are out because they got eliminated, so they're just shutting it down. But yeah, I need to take a quick look. And see what is the current NBA playoff picture. Yeah, dude, it was great. Hang in there, man. Hang in there. Remember that even if you're alone physically, you're not alone in the universe. There are other people, like-minded individuals out there who exist and are starting to connect in one way or another. But dude, if you get a chance, swing by sometime tomorrow or check me out on Twitter. I'll let you know how our team did. And if we won, we'll definitely look at getting another round going. And then once we build it up to something, $1,000, we'll split it. That's what we'll do. I'm gonna ride you, man. Ride the soccer train. Is this getting dirty? Is this getting weird? You be safe out there, Rev. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I do, man. Every chance I get. Let's see. What is happening in the NBA? Big game. Okay, so big game for Phoenix tomorrow. Big game for Phoenix, Memphis, and Portland. Phoenix, Memphis. Phoenix, Memphis, and Portland. Okay. Phoenix, Memphis, and Portland. So then let's take a look. an appropriately sized tournament. Here we go. $12 single entry, 2,941 people. That sounds like the kind of thing I'd like to enter. Let's reserve that. And now, let's take a look at this. You still there, Alm Theory? What's up in your world? Anything good happening? Phoenix, Memphis, and Portland. Well, there you go. We know Ben Simmons. Yeah, we know that. But we know Embled's out, too. Well, you gotta like the looks of Phoenix here, then, don't you? I mean, Phoenix has gotta play this. You gotta like DeAndre. You gotta like Booker. Interesting. With Uber and Aaron Baines are both out. Lillard, Nurkic. You gotta like Lillard and Nurkic. Memphis is still. That's a tough matchup. I mean, they're going against Boston. Yeah, dude, that was fun. That was really great. We'll see how we go there. Threw down $12 on a lineup, soccer lineup with the Rev. Games are tomorrow, starting at 3 in the afternoon. We'll see how those go. That could be fun. That could be fun. It's only 24 people. It's a small tournament. 24 people. Top 4 get money. First place gets $100. But we'll see. $12 single entry. He definitely knew the players, man. He was calling them out, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. What's up in your world? Anything good happening? Yeah, dude. $12 is pretty much my home territory. That's my $12 entry. Sometimes drop down to something lower than that. If I've won something, I'll jump up, go up to something higher than that. But I hover right around that $12 entry fee. Hmm. This is going to be an interesting game to sort out. I mean, there could be some immense value in that game because you got J. Rue Holiday, he's out. You got Ingram out. You got Zion Williamson out. All for New Orleans. If they're all, I mean, someone's got to play the game. Someone's going to play that game. Lonzo, Reddick. I mean, there's value there. There's definite value to be had in this New Orleans Sacramento game. I mean, right now I'm gonna look at. Yeah, you got okay. JJ. Gotta go with JJ for value on that. Throw JJ in there. I'll be able to adjust this lineup tomorrow before the main part of it kicks off. But if we look at JJ and Josh Hart, Favors. Yeah, dude, I'll be here for a little while longer. Then I gotta grab some food. I have an early meeting tomorrow, so I'll be heading to bed early. But I'm just gonna get through this. But yeah, dude, thanks for providing the viewer. Yeah, I think you gotta. Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll look. I'll see what I can figure out with a little scrolling text box. That is a good idea. Noted. Yeah, no, I'm definitely thinking scrolling. That would be the way to do it. That would be cool. How do you go scoreless? So I'm tempted to grab him. Game doesn't start until 5. All right, so there's definitely. I'm leaning towards Valencia's there at the close. I'm gonna lock in a lineup now, and then this will most likely change tomorrow though early. Um, there's so many big names out right now. And I gotta keep an eye on Doncic. Is Giannis coming? If Giannis is back, I want to try and work him in. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's going to be it for right now, folks. Oh wait, let me see. Hockey, right? No, I can do hockey tomorrow early. I can do hockey early tomorrow. All right, man. Yeah, that's going to be it for now. We'll see how the rest of the lineups pan out for the rest of the evening. We'll touch base tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. Just more baseball, more hockey, more basketball, and we'll have a big old golf thing getting ready for Thursday once we go around to Wednesday. But all right, guys. Thanks, Rev. Thanks, Om. Thanks, ADM. Thanks to everybody. And uh, stay safe out there. Have some fun. Keep gambling, and good luck.